Good day, BC. Mr. Rick here once again. And I thought for this week's video, why don't we go to the movies? Would you like to go to the movies? Let's go to the movies. I've got a few soundtracks here, not many, but a few that you may remember. The first one comes from 1965 and 66. When this movie came out, I was a kid. We were stationed in Asmara, Ethiopia. I'm an army brat, and my father was stationed there, so my sister and her girlfriend took me along, and we went to see the movie Help by the Beatles. I don't remember much of it, and I've never seen the movie since it came out. I remember something about Ringo Starr and a ring, and that's all I remember about it. But I've heard the soundtrack dozens and dozens of times, and of course, I always enjoy the music of the Beatles. Here's the other one they did. This is from 1964, the year before, and it's A Hard Day's Night. That's another one I've never seen. I don't know much about what it plays, but I've heard the soundtrack dozens of times. Then, in 1968, if you're old enough to remember it, some people weren't around in 1968, but the movie Hair came along, and that's another one I have never seen. It's got Aquarius on it, of course, and I think that's a bit. Good Morning Starshine was the other hit on it. There's the back side of that one, if you can see it. That's from 1968, it's the original broadcast recording. In 1963, Henry Mancini was famous for doing a whole lot of soundtracks, and he put the music behind the Pink Panther, and I can't think of how many movies and soundtracks he did. But in '63, Audrey Hepburn and Cary Grant came out with the movie, and it was called Charade. And the story about a woman whose husband supposedly had been killed, and if I remember correctly, and he left her a whole lot of money, but everybody was looking for it. Nobody could find it, and they found it. It was a stamp that was on an envelope. There's the back side of that one, a good picture of Henry Mancini. And it was one of those charades, that's what it was called, so that was the main reason for it. You ladies out there, I know you enjoy this movie a lot. This one goes all the way back to 1957. Cary Grant and Deborah Kerr came out with the movie from 20th Century Fox. It was called An Affair to Remember. And that was one of the movies where they met on a ship, and they decided if they were both free on the first of the year that they would go to the I forget the name of the building, but they didn't make it. She got hit by a car and was paralyzed, and I'll leave it at that. But a good movie, and the ladies really enjoy that movie a lot. Here's one from 1964. If you remember Debbie Reynolds and Harve Presnell, and the unsinkable Molly Brown. That was a good movie. It was there's the back side of that one. The unsinkable Molly Brown. Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer put that one out in '64. Then we'll come up to the year 1983 with John Travolta and Olivia Newton-John. This is another movie I've never seen. It's called Two of a Kind. Like I said, I enjoyed the soundtrack quite a bit. That's good, but here's the back side of that, a picture of both of them. That's from the original motion picture soundtrack. 1985, Huey Lewis and the News were popular then, and they did a song in this movie called The Power of Love. And this one had Michael J. Fox and Christopher Lloyd, and I think those were the two main characters. But of course, you remember Back to the Future, which was a classic and a good movie too. They did 3 movies: Back to the Movie 1, 2, and 3, I believe. And soundtrack ain't bad either. Like I said, Huey Lewis and the News do it, and Eric Clapton does Heaven Is One Step Away, and Etta James, The Wallflower, Dance With Me Henry. That was a hit for her, you remember that one. That's Back to the Future. Hank Williams was popular in 1967, and they decided to put a movie together about his life. But the problem was, they didn't do a very good job, I'll have to tell you. They put out Your Cheating Heart, and it starred George Hamilton, Susan Oliver, Red Buttons, and Arthur O'Connell. Hank Williams Jr. did all the singing on it, and the story was it was just told from the viewpoint of Audrey Williams, and there was a lot of stuff that doesn't go to the right story. It's not a very good movie, but you know, if you like Hank Williams Jr.'s early stuff, Your Cheating Heart, he does all the singing on that, and in the movie George Hamilton just kind of sings along with him, lip syncs it. I remember this movie from 1973. I was just getting ready to get into high school when that came out, and I remember we had a movie thing in school, and they played this movie for us. And it's American Graffiti, and it had all the hits from the 1950s. Not all of them, but quite a few of them. Starred Ron Howard, and I can't remember the other guy. Richard Dreyfuss was in it. Ronnie Howard. Who else? Cindy Williams was in it. Wolfman Jack. Yeah, a lot of them. And the soundtrack is great too, because it's got a lot of hits from the 1950s and early 60s, and that's American Graffiti. And it was a good movie too. We all enjoyed that one. From 1980, do you remember The American Gigolo? That had Richard Gere in it, and Lauren Hutton, and good soundtrack there. This is the back of that one. You can see it. The American Gigolo. And finally for this week, cruise up to 1984. I had read the book on Mozart, his life story. It's a fascinating story, as he was a child prodigy in classical music in the late 1700s and early 1800s. And his story is fascinating, how musically inclined he was. And in 1984, they put together Amadeus, and Samuel Ramey. There were a lot of people that were unknown in this movie. And what can you say about it? And that's what we've got this week from the movies. Hope you enjoyed that. I enjoyed it. When I listen to these soundtracks, the ones I've seen, I remember the parts to where they are in each movie when this music comes out and everything. But it's good, and hope you enjoyed that. And if you've got any suggestions or ideas that maybe are an album you'd like to see, maybe I've got it. I've got 6,000 record albums in the house, and maybe we can do something for you. Do me a favor and click the like button and leave a message if you like. Okay? Okay, this is Mr. Rick saying that if the good Lord's willing and the creeks don't rise, we'll see you before long.